What's up, y'all? One Piece One Life here, and guys, honestly, it's getting too much. Oda, I really wish that I could meet you and shake your hand right now, because One Piece has finally reached a stage where all the old legends that we kept hearing about way back in the day, we're actually meeting them. This chapter was simply amazing, and I know I say it every time a hype chapter comes out, but y'all, I genuinely think that this may be chapter of the year. And while Oda has clearly shown me that I'm wrong before, I don't think anything can beat this one in terms of pure hype. All I'm saying is, if you really liked Rock's last chapter, wait till you hear what happens in this one, because this is going to be chapter 1155 of One Piece Review. But before we get into it, real quick, like the video, that's very important. Subscribe to the channel for more anime content just like this every week, and share it around with all your friends who love the series. You know what we always say here. Let's get it going. So starting us off, we don't have Yamato's cover story, thank the Lord, but we do have a nice color spread of the Straw Hats seemingly just above some sort of city, and they're all dangling off some sort of like precarious ladders and stuff like that. It's cool enough, but a really nice detail I like is that Jinbei is the one comforting Nami who's scared to go across the, bridge. Given the relationship they had in the past, like, it's come full circle. I like that. Now, where did we leave off last time? Oh yeah, Rox Davy Back and his crew are here, and they've just met Loki, and Rox has asked them, yo, this is Elbaf, right? So right off the bat, Loki's like, yeah, this is Elbaf, but if you're looking for my pops, hey bruh, my pop's not here, what do you need? While the woman who, it is revealed in fact in this chapter, yes, it was Stussy, while Stussy says, oh, this kid, wow, so cute, Rox is like, no, wait, hold up, you say he's your dad. So then Rox starts being toxic immediately, and Rox goes, oh, I'm sure that he can probably still be reached if he's away, so this is what we're gonna do, kid. I need you to scurry off to wherever castle you live in and immediately let them know, yo, I've been seriously injured, send word from my father. Loki's like, who the hell do you think you're talking to? I'm the Prince of Elbaf. I will crush you. And that's when Rox said, hold my beer. Rox pulls out a sword, which is important, winds it up, and charges it with advanced Conqueror's Haki. And it's revealed to us that his swordsmanship is literally akin by other people to some kind of giant hammer, where if he swings it like this, he'll literally just cause mass destruction. And now right off the bat, we already have agenda, because now people are saying, oh, well look, this must show that advanced Conqueror's Haki is tied to swordsmanship, and therefore it must be a Mihawk upscale. Y'all, I don't understand the reaches we get to sometimes. The fact that he's layering Advanced Conqueror's Haki into his attack doesn't mean that that's why. If anything, this really puts the whole strongest swordsman in the world question into debate. Because now you got it thinking, all of these monsters in the former era, who is Mihawk the strongest swordsman over? Yeah, that's right, Mihawk fans, I'm coming for you. As he winds up his attack, he does it to seriously injure Loki. He just slams him in his leg. And then he's laughing like a crazy man going, ha ha ha, now you're injured. And it's crazy because at this point, now we get another flashback within the flashback within the flashback. It started off as Loki's flashback, which then became Harold's flashback, which then became Rox's flashback. But we flash back to 8 years ago and we actually see what happened during the Reverie incident. So it turns out not only did Rox kill, off-screen an admiral by himself, but he also kidnapped 5 kings. So literally everyone is looking for him, and people are like, we don't know where he ran off to. Some people say it's the castle, we gotta find him. And I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to guess where in Mary Joa he is. Time's up. This brother is in Imu's personal quarters, face to face with him. Imu's just like, the lives of those sovereigns cannot be used to try and bargain with me. I care not for them. And Rox is literally just like, hey, it got me here, didn't it? We have Rox pulling up to Imu's crib, his own house, and being like, yo, listen up. I'm a Davy Jonesian pirate. And y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know what that means. I can't focus on that right now. I can admit and tell right now, I don't have the facilities to be able to take you down yet, but trust me, I will be back. And when I do, you better pray that you're not here. Side note, Gunko is there, so that kind of heightens the connection between the two, because it seems like Gunko was one of Imu's personal servants, one of the very few to know that Imu actually exists. And I guess something happened that made her go from personal servant to Holy Knight. And of course, nobody's gonna bring up the fact that he got this deep into the Holy Land, because obviously they don't want to spill the beans that Imu's there. So it's basically at this point, as he's dipping out, that coincidentally at the same time, Harold was revealed to be a giant who wasn't supposed to be there, so they're chasing him, with the celestial scumbags talking about, yeah, get him so we can have him stuffed. Hey yo, pause. But essentially they're kind of converging like this. As they're coming close to each other, Harold is just like, that's the guy that they keep accusing me to be affiliated with, or who they think I am. I gotta show him some. And at the same time, Rox is like, a giant here? Oh yeah, let's test some. And y'all, Harold and Rox have an advanced conquerors clash. Harold brings out his big sword, Rox brings out his sword, and literally, their blades don't touch. It's literally said everyone within a 5-kilometer radius was blown away. This is insane. Because first of all, Harold has advanced conquerors hockey and he's just pulling it out willy-nilly? Obviously that's gotta boost him up. Harold is now in my eyes relative to Rox. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that the dynamic between the two of them is similar to the dynamic between Roger and Whitebeard. I mean, it makes sense. The only other time we saw a crazy clash to that level was them. It's a replicable feat. And before you say other people have clashed like that, yes, I know, but I'm saying in terms of blowing up the surroundings like that. But nah, you can even tell in the fact of like how they're both smiling at this encounter because they're both kind of just exchanging names. As soon as the clash ends, Rox is just like, oh, and by the way, you might want to angle your attacks toward the town. That way you'll have a chance to escape. Harold, of course, is like, well, I'm trying to get back to Elbaf. Do you know how to get there? And he's like, yeah. New World is that way. Listen, if you survive, let's meet again. And so by this point, we're starting to get a bit of an expose on Rox by the narrator. So it seems like in the battle, he essentially mortally wounded the Admiral. He didn't kill him straight up, but he mortally wounded him and then like left him for dead. To the point that people were actually actively trying to patch him up, but he did not survive. And it's crazy because we see his wanted poster, but we actually don't get the number on it. And then we get word that later on, a ship carrying the heavenly tribute was attacked. Rox stole all of that treasure and destroyed the gates of justice. Do y'all understand how big it is that he destroyed the gates of justice? The gates of justice are massive. Y'all remember it. That was one of the insurmountable things that the Straw Hats had to contend with during Enies Lobby. And this guy is just casually destroying it. Nah, I'm sorry. Rox is actually top one, or at least was. He's different. Then it's described that Rox started targeting other pirates too, and in this bid, he actually created his crew using the Davy Back. And it's crazy, we finally get the Davy Back mention once again. After years and years of people complaining that, oh, Foxy's arc in Long Ring Longland is a complete waste of time and you should just skip until Aokiji arrives. Everyone wondering, when is the Davy Back coming back? This is why we don't skip things, for moments like this. Lore. That goofy thing that Foxy was doing is what created the strongest crew in history. And it feels like a long time since I've been able to say this, but I can finally scratch another thing off of my Elbaf bingo card. In that video, one thing that I predicted was that the Davy Back was gonna come back in some capacity. Granted, I had thought that it would be in the present day, but listen, I'll take it in a flashback, it's still during the arc. Now all that time has caught us back up to this point where the Rox pirates are on Elbaf. In West Castle, we have Harold actually showing concern for his son, but still being naive. He's just like, oh Loki, I'm so glad you're okay, but you know, falling off the cliff like that, even though I know you're strong, falling off the cliff into the underworld like that, it's dangerous, you know, you should stay more with us. Man still doesn't know that his own son did that willingly. And then Harold goes to attend to some guests. And these guests is the full roster at this point of the Rox pirates. We get a huge spread seeing all of them, and then we're introduced to each one individually as well. But you may be wondering, right? Because I asked this in the last chapter review and I asked this in my Rox Pirates video from last week. Why is Rox here? And I'm not gonna lie, of all of the possibilities that I had thought of, I don't know why I didn't think of this one. Rox wanted Harold to join his pirate crew. He went up to the king of a nation and said, you know that the government about to snake you. Just join me so that we can take over the world. Harold is just like, I don't know who you think I am. And by the way, all of y'all who follow him, you realize he's gonna lead you into ruin, right? That's when Oda gives us introductions to each member, while also telling us essentially about what his plan is. So essentially, back in the day, Hachinosu was just an island full of pirate scum. Countries were sending their worst inmates from all around to that one island to be held, with the idea being that it's just a barren land and, you know, everybody's fighting amongst each other, there's not enough people are just gonna await for death in a painful way. But then what happened is that the year before, people started banding together. While that was happening, a shadowy organization donated them a butt ton of cash to be able to, actually fund themselves. This got to the point where now, if anyone sails anywhere near Hachinosu, all of the people on that island will just swarm them and take everything they have and just raid and kill. So what Rox had done is that he actually went up to the government and offered his services, saying, yo, if you pay us a certain amount, me and my boys will go in there, clean up this whole shit for you, and we'll get the island back. We'll get the treasure back too, and we can split that in half between us. But did you really think that I'm just gonna allow them to have that? Hell no. I'm going to take over Pirate Island as its ruler, and all of those guys are gonna be under me. And this is how I know that Rox is toxic, because he orchestrated this whole situation. The shadowy organization, that was him. The treasure that was stolen, that was the heavenly tribute that he got from the bombed ship. Yeah, this guy, he's moving different, and I can see where Blackbeard gets the crazy planning from. This is the dictionary definition of for the plot. And then of course he says his dream, which is I'm going to bring down the government claw by claw, and then eventually I'm going to be king of the world. And we get an amazing close-up, and again you're just reminded of how much he looks like Blackbeard, but he's just like, Harold, there's no such thing as power that lasts forever. So you gotta take charge. Grab life by the balls. And it's at this moment that Loki, just eavesdropping on the conversation, was inspired to join his crew. But speaking of his crew, at this point, the Rox Pirates consisted of 7 members, at least 7 main members. As we saw last chapter, Whitebeard was with him, though at that time he wouldn't be known as Whitebeard yet, he's still just Edward Newgate. Shiki's also with him, and they call him Shiki the Wicked. He has yet to gain the title of Golden Lion. The woman in his group is in fact Stussy, and she's actually called the Tech Bandit, which is really interesting when you think about it, because it actually ties in very well with why she ended up with Mads. It means that even before then, she was just stealing tech, trying to piece things together herself, so she must be like a wizard with this kind of stuff. And something tells me she can actually use it too, she's not just stealing it for parts. But we also get the reveal of 3 new characters. The first is Don Marlin, and he's essentially a huge mafioso looking guy. He's a gangster from the West Blue, so you can't help but think that he of course must have ties to at least one of the 5 great mafia families. Personally, I think he may even in some way be related to Capone Beige. I don't think it's gonna be relevant, but hey, lore. And I'm not gonna lie, his story may be even more interesting, because maybe the fact that they used to be 5 families, they were really one under him, and after he was gone is when they all split up. That's my new headcanon, I like it. Don Marlin was completely new, but the last 2 people are people that we, to some extent, kinda know. For the first guy, we've heard so much about him relatively in the story, but finally, we're seeing the appearance of Wang Ji, or I guess Ochoku. Man, Tekking 101 must be happy right now, but he's called the Pirate Prophet. And as we know, Wang Ji is the person who takes over Hachinosu after the era of Rox. He's the person that Blackbeard, Kobe, and Law teamed up to oust out of Hachinosu during the time skip. And I'm sorry, Tekking, because I know you like his character, but bro is so ugly. How did he take over anything? Then the final member we learn of is Gonzui the Smuggler. Now here's the thing, we've seen him before twice, but we just never knew what his name was. Along with Gil Baster, he was previously one of the unnamed people who was in the spread of the Rox crew that we saw during the Kuma flashback. And just like Gil Baster and Captain John, he is one of the general zombies in Thriller Bark. And that's just interesting because it makes me think, okay, hold on. Moria has access to multiple corpses of Rox pirates. Did he go searching for them individually? Or were they all in one place? Because that says a lot. Mind you, Thriller Bark was also once in the West Blue, just like God Valley was. There may be a theory here. Let me think on that. But yeah, that chapter was amazing. The lore, the Rox lore, I'm not gonna lie, this chapter is a clear 10 out of 10 for me. I absolutely loved it. But I'm wondering if you did too, so definitely let me know in the comments. And while you're down there, I also need you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it around with all your friends. Remember, I'm trying to build a community, but I need your help to do it. Also, y'all, I just want to take the time to really appreciate y'all and thank y'all for 2,000 subs. It's absolutely crazy how much we've been flying during the summer. I genuinely appreciate it, and honestly, I don't have the words right now, but I just want to keep growing. So let's get to higher heights together. That's gonna be all for me. I'll catch you on the next one, and always remember, one piece, one life. I want to everyone who loves Wano, I just want to say this. Harold is who Odin should have been.